Avengers Endgame. Finally, I get to say those words. It was directed by the Russo brothers and stars everyone that's out in Infinity War. And after the events of Infinity War, everyone is trying to pick up their scraps, try to defeat Thanos, and try to get their friends back no matter what. This was a film I was so excited for, but at the same time, I was so worried for because I didn't want to be disappointed with this film. Because every film in the MCU that's led up to this point, the most important ones, have been great, and I was worried that this culmination of everything would screw everything up. I didn't really theorize anything. I didn't look at that many theory videos. I barely looked at any clips and trailers. I only saw the main two and the To the End trailer. But I didn't see anything else, and I'm glad to say, because holy shit, this might be my favorite in the MCU. I gotta go back and forth with it. I only saw it once. I'm going to see it again this weekend. By the way, no spoilers at all, not even a hint. Because I know there's still people that have not seen this film yet. But I really want to make a spoiler review. I will eventually, but right now I'm just gonna none spoilers, no spoilers at all. But this film was masterful. I loved it. I only have a few minor nitpicks with this film, just a few, but it's like the Blade Runner movies where I can overlook those films because those films' flaws because of how good they're made, how crafted they are, and just how so good. And this film is just so good. This film is just amazing. I am so glad this film worked out the way it did. First off, every performance in this film, best in their entire career in the MCU. Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr., in particular RDJ, gives the best performance he's ever given as his character. And there are campaigns for his performance be not Oscar nominated. And I gotta back it up because this is easily Robert Downey Jr.'s best performance, not only as his character, but I think ever. This is a monumental achievement for the actors. Everyone also behind the scenes, I know they worked their ass off to make a great Marvel film. Not only that, a great culmination of everything. The visual effects also great. I also really like how this film structured itself. The first act is very slow. You get to see the characters mourning. After the events of what happened in Infinity War, you get to see them develop through this, live their lives, just try to pick themselves up. And I love that. I love that. Also, it's just so refreshing to see them actually be like real people and not just these extraordinary beings. The second act picks up considerably with action that really blew my mind at some points. Like, the humor was great. And I just feel like this film does some really clever things with what one particular plot device. Something that I predicted, but at the same time I was glad because that's how I wanted it to go. And let's talk about the third act. Not getting into spoilers, but that last hour honestly is film history made in this one singular act. I would just go back to the film just to see that one last hour once again. Speaking of the time, 3 hours. I was worried that would be a little bit beefy. No, not really. It didn't even feel like 3 hours. It felt like kind of like Infinity War was, 2.5 hours. Which I would say if I had to pick a nitpick that would almost become a flaw, it's not a flaw, but if there were some scenes cut out of the film, I'd be fine with that, just to make that runtime a little less. Nevertheless, it didn't feel like 3 hours at all, and if you didn't tell me it was 3 hours long, I wouldn't notice. Because this film runs by super fast, and I'm glad. I'm glad that it did that. The action is the best in the MCU, in my opinion. The actors give their all. Hell, even Captain Marvel, for the time being. I actually like her in this film more than she did in in the previous movie she was in, which I thought was just really not great, not even good that even, and it's just, meh. But this film also does something that I thought it would never do. No, it's not even easy for any ordinary film in a franchise to do this, but it made every subsequent movie before it even better. I never thought I would do it. Even the worst Marvel films, there's just a little bit now that I see after seeing this movie that's just made it better. I'm glad. I'm just glad this film just worked out so well. Again, I have nitpicks here and there, but I just can't believe this film worked out as well as it did. It's by far my favorite film of the year. It's by far the best I've seen in a long time. It's up there with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse for being my favorite superhero movie of the decade. But nevertheless, this film deserves everything. I'm gonna give Avengers Endgame an A+. I'm not fanboying here. I hate fanboying. If you're saying I'm a fan of the series, yes I am. But I'm not a fanboy. I admit my flaws with this film. But it's like the Blade Runner movies, or like some other movies that came out recently that I gave an A+ to, like Mission Impossible Fallout, where I know there are flaws with it, and like Hereditary also. But the film is just so well crafted, I can overlook them, and maybe rewatching it, I won't even notice again. So, that is my review. I'll be out with a spoiler review eventually, but I'll see you all later, recruits. Take care.